Really good to have you with us, Makram. We know that under the ceasefire deal that was signed in November, Israeli forces were supposed to have withdrawn from southern Lebanon by the end of January. But of course, Israel insisted that its troops must remain there. So the ceasefire was extended until now. And of course, it's saying that its troops will stay on until March. Do you believe that Israel has any intention of fully withdrawing from southern Lebanon?
I truly believe that the eventual withdrawal of Israel hinges on the implementation of 1701 plus. And here I mentioned the plus part because the Lebanese state, be it Speaker Berri or Hezbollah, does not recognize that they have signed an agreement which fully recognizes the need of disarming Hezbollah. This is something which the Lebanese government, under the current President Aoun and Prime Minister Nawaf Salam, haven't yet addressed. This is why the Israelis will continue to use this pretext of staying in the south of Lebanon for security until they see a kind of a serious deployment by the Lebanese army. And this is not only an Israeli position. Yesterday, the Trump government stopped aid to the Lebanese army because it feels that it is not serious in implementing the idea of taking control over the full sovereignty of the south of Lebanon as well as the rest of the country.
Yes, tell us more about what the Trump administration's aims might be for Lebanon, because we know that Donald Trump is very much an ally of Israel and Netanyahu. What do you believe might his administration do when it comes to this conflict in Lebanon?
Well, we don't want to basically project. It is very clear that Trump has sided with Israel and will continue to side with Israel, as well as the Biden administration has done so. I think moving forward, it's no longer about the ceasefire or the eventual withdrawal of the Israelis, but rather I think the Trump government will have a take it or leave it deal because it wants Lebanon and the Lebanese state to enter into the Abrahamic Accords. And this has been very clear, especially that the majority of the Arab countries have been talking about peace, whereas we see that Lebanon has been saying that it will be the last country to join. So I think now it is actually the last country to join, and this is why I think the Trump administration will not hold back in trying to force or to even bully the Lebanese state into accepting the idea of entering into the Abrahamic Accords.
Yes, and of course those Abraham Accords were introduced under the first Trump administration and basically aims to encourage countries in the region to normalize relations with Israel. So do you believe that in Lebanon's case that aim really is unrealistic at this point?
Nothing unrealistic. There's nothing unrealistic except if we don't give the two sides to the deal a kind of agreeable situation. If the Lebanese don't feel that they're getting anything out of the peace deal, and if they don't feel that they are actually getting a kind of a protective net that would ensure that the relationship with the rest of the Arab world, particularly also the relationship with Iran, which has used Hezbollah and other factions in Lebanon to destabilize the country. So I think that eventually Lebanon will have to not only talk about peace, but rather to think about building a state which at the end of the day can take its own decisions rather than just rely on regional actors or basically international circumstances to do what's right or wrong.
Okay, Makram Rabah, we will have to leave it there, but we really appreciate your analysis. Thank you again for joining us.